James Gunn finally breaks his silence, and what he said shocked every Peacemaker fan. But here's the real twist. He's not defending himself. He's accepting the hate. Yeah, you heard that right. The man who gave us one of the most chaotic, heartfelt superhero series in the DC universe just said, "Not everyone can love everything." Simple words. But behind them? A storm that's splitting the fandom in half. So, what really happened behind the scenes of Peacemaker Season 2? Why did a show that critics called better than the first season suddenly get ripped apart by fans? And here's the secret no one's telling you. The backlash might not be a failure, it might be part of Gunn's plan. Stick around, because by the end of this video, we'll uncover the forbidden reason Gunn isn't bothered by the hate, and how it might secretly connect to DC's next big project. Oh, and if you're into stories where chaos meets truth, hit that subscribe button, because what's coming next in the DC universe is about to explode. Let's rewind. When Peacemaker first dropped in 2022, nobody expected it to be this good. A violent, unfiltered, emotionally weird superhero show starring a guy who kills for peace? It sounded insane. But somehow it worked. John Cena's Peacemaker became this perfect mix of broken and badass. Gunn made you laugh at the most ridiculous stuff, then suddenly made you cry over an eagle hugging a man. The first season scored a massive 93% on Rotten Tomatoes and became a cult favorite. Fast forward 3 years. Season 2 drops on HBO Max. Critics loved it, 95% score.
Fans, not so much.
The audience score fell to 78%, and the internet lit up with complaints. But here's the weird part. The finale was the real battlefield. Some fans said it felt empty. Others said it was just a setup for Gunn's upcoming Superman movie. Suddenly, the same people who praised Gunn for being original were calling him a corporate strategist. So the big question, did James Gunn lose his magic, or is he just playing a longer game? For James Gunn's reaction, 300 to 500 to on threads, a fan asked Gunn directly, "Are you aware of the criticism, especially the finale?" And Gunn, being the calm chaos wizard he is, simply replied, "Yes, I'm aware. Not everyone can love everything. I loved it, and it's completely fair if others didn't." That one comment set off 1,000 interpretations. Some fans said, "Wow, he's being mature." Others said, "He doesn't care about the audience anymore." But think about it. Gunn's never been the kind of creator to chase approval. He made a talking raccoon one of Marvel's most emotional characters. He made villains feel like real people. He's built on risk. So when Gunn says, "Not everyone can love everything," he's not dismissing the fans, he's acknowledging them. And key. That's power. But it also raises one haunting question. If Gunn loved the finale so much, what was he trying to tell us that fans refused to see? This is where things get wild. Critics and fans were literally watching the same show, but seeing two different realities. Critics said, "It's deeper, darker, more emotional, a creative evolution." A fan said, "It's confusing, overstuffed, and where's the humor that made Peacemaker great?" One fan wrote, "It feels like Gunn forgot what made Season 1 fun." Another said, "This isn't Peacemaker, it's a trailer for Superman." So, who's right? Well, maybe both. Gunn's always walked a fine line between emotional storytelling and outrageous comedy. But this time, he tipped the scale. Season 2 focused on trauma, redemption, and identity, all while trying to plant seeds for the new DC universe. And that's where it lost people. You can't mourn a character's pain and also process 5 crossover teases in the same episode. Still, Gunn never promised comfort. He promised truth. And sometimes, truth isn't what fans want. But here's the twist. What if Gunn knew that backlash was inevitable? What if he built Season 2 to test the audience's loyalty? To see who was ready for the new DCU and who wasn't? Think about it. He's relaunching an entire cinematic universe. He doesn't need passive fans. He needs diehards who'll survive the reboot storm. So maybe this backlash isn't failure, it's filtering. And that theory brings us to the biggest mystery of all. Why did the tone of Peacemaker change so drastically? If you rewatch the first few episodes of Season 2, you'll feel it instantly. The humor's still there, but it's quieter, sharper, heavier. The story dives into guilt, purpose, and what peace really means. Even the montages, the part fans complained about, are packed with symbolism. Gunn didn't just change tone, he changed perspective. Season 1 was about a man learning he could be more than a weapon. Season 2, it's about what happens after you realize that, when peace stops being a mission and becomes a burden. That's dark stuff. And not everyone wanted that from a show that once gave us a man dancing in his underwear with an eagle. But maybe that's the point. Gunn wasn't trying to entertain us anymore. He was trying to challenge us. He's building the emotional DNA for his new DC universe. One where heroes aren't gods, they're flawed, tired, and human. And the finale, it's not an ending. It's a handoff. You probably noticed, the final sequence directly ties into the Superman movie Gunn released earlier this year. That's no accident. It's the start of something much bigger. But before we dive into that connection, and trust me, it's wild, let's pause here. Because the real question isn't why the finale felt different. It's why Gunn wanted it to feel that way. In page 2, we'll break down the secret DC links hidden inside that finale, the truth behind Gunn's storytelling shift, and how Peacemaker's failure might be DC's biggest power move yet. Stay tuned, because things are about to get even more explosive. Next, alright, buckle up, because here's where things start to connect in ways most fans completely missed. Peacemaker Season 2 isn't just a show. It's a coded message for the new DC universe. If you paid attention, you probably caught that final montage, a newspaper headline, a radio mention, and that quick shot of Metropolis glowing in the distance. Gunn doesn't waste a single frame. Every moment is there for a reason. That ending wasn't random. It was a direct bridge to Gunn's Superman film, the one that dropped earlier this year and became the blueprint for DC's soft reboot. Here's the wild part: one of the scientists in the Superman movie, Dr. Irons, was first introduced in Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 5, disguised as a background analyst in the Task Force X files. Meaning, Peacemaker Season 2 secretly launched the new DC continuity. John Cena's character isn't just surviving the reboot, he's anchoring it. But Gunn being Gunn, he didn't make it obvious. He buried clues under sarcasm, montages, and emotional chaos, because that's how he tells stories, not by handing you answers, but by daring you to find them. So when fans said the finale was confusing or unfinished, maybe that's exactly what Gunn wanted. He wasn't ending Peacemaker. He was sensing it with the new DC timeline. But here's the question that keeps me up at night. Did Gunn sacrifice Peacemaker's story for his DCU vision, or was it always part of his plan? Let's dive deeper. 87. Setup over story. Debate. 1,200, 1,500 feet. The biggest criticism Season 2 faced was that it felt more like a setup than a story. Fans said the emotional closure from Season 1 was missing, replaced with world-building, cameos, and cryptic references to Superman, Supergirl, and even Amanda Waller's off-screen moves. To put it bluntly, it felt like a commercial for DC's future instead of a conclusion for its past. But what if that was intentional? Imagine this. You spend a whole season watching Peacemaker finally find peace, only to realize that peace is temporary. He's not done. He can't be done. Because in Gunn's universe, redemption doesn't come in one season. It's a lifetime war. And that's what Season 2 was, a mirror. A reflection of how exhausting it is to keep being the good guy when the world keeps changing the rules. Still, I get it. The tonal whiplash was real. One episode you're laughing at Vigilante's chaos. The next you're processing Peacemaker's father haunting his mind again. It's emotionally heavy. And not everyone wanted that from a show that once opened with a dance number. But that's where Gunn takes his biggest risks. He plays with contrast.